Welcome students. Today I am going to begin with the chapter Organisms and Population. What do you mean by ecology? How you can define ecology? Ecology is a branch of science that deals with interaction among organisms, between organisms and with its physical environment. It is a branch that deals with interaction among organisms, between organisms and with its physical environment. The term ecology is derived from Greek language Eikos and Logos. Eikos means home, house, dwelling place of the living organism. Logos meaning study. Logos means the study. We have to study the definition of ecology: interaction among organisms, between organisms and with its physical environment. A simple example, we the human beings itself, we are dependent on one another, as well as for our food, we are also dependent on other organisms like plants as well as the animals. So, we can find in nature where one species, the individuals of a species, they interact among themselves as well as with the other species, and also they respond, they interact with its surrounding environment, that is physical environment, also that is abiotic components like temperature, water, soil, light. So when there is increase in temperature, we can find changes within the living organisms. Yes, or when there is scarcity of water, we can find changes within the plants, that is the food produced by the plants, productivity, the rate of productivity will be decreased. So we can find the interactions of the organisms, among organisms, between organisms and with its physical environment. How they respond towards the physical environment is all studied in ecology. Why are we studying about ecology? Because the chapter Organism and Population is included in the unit called Ecology. There are 4 chapters. In that one such chapter, it is Organism and Population. Here we can find 2 terms, organisms and population. Organisms, there are different types of living organisms, from unicellular to multicellular. Every individual of a species is an organism. What is population? Group of similar individual is called population. Later on in details we will study about this. You have already studied cellular organization. It is like this: cell, tissue, organ system. Yes, similarly in ecology we can find ecological hierarchy. There are 4 levels in ecological hierarchy. They are organism, population, biotic community, and biome. Organism, population, biotic community, and biome. Organism, it's a basic unit. Like in the first year taxonomy, you have studied taxonomic hierarchy where species is the lowest category, basic unit. Similarly, in ecological hierarchy, organism is the basic unit. What is an organism? Every individual of a species is called organism. Every individual of a species is called organism. The next, it is population. Group of individuals of same species living together in a particular area at a given time. Group of individuals of same species living together in a particular area in a given time is called population. Group of individuals of same species or group of similar individuals. For example, Rana tigrina frog found in a pond. Chlamydomonas in a pond. Bamboo trees found in a forest, or a simple human beings in a particular area, that we can take it as population. Individuals of one species, group of individuals of one species, and important here is a particular area in a given time. That is more important. Why? Because if we take the animals, the group of individuals, okay, so animals show the movements. They move from one place to another place. They are not fixed at a particular area. Next is biotic community. Group of populations of different species living in a particular area at a given time. Group of populations of different species living in a particular area in a given time. Or it is an assemblage of populations of plants, animals, microorganisms in a particular area at a given time. We can take the example of pond community. In a pond, we can find different types of species are found living, different types of hydrophytes. we can find there, as well as different animal species, zooplanktons are found, as well as in the benthic zone we can find the soil microorganisms are also located. Copepods, crustaceans, we can find phytoplanktons, microorganisms are all present where? In a pond. Pond is an example for biotic community. When different species are found living together in a particular area, so then we call it as biotic community. And the next level, it is bio. A large geographical area with similar climatic conditions, vegetation and fauna. A large geographical area having similar climatic condition, vegetation and fauna is called biome. And a geographical area can be called as a biome, only it can be considered as a biome when it should have same climatic feature. Not only same climatic feature, it should also have the plants found there should be same, as well as animals, vegetation, flora and fauna. Vegetation, flora, yes, plants, and fauna, it is the animals. For example, simple example, desert. In desert we can find high temperature, yes, climatic features, less rainfall, arid condition we can call it as. And plants found there are xerophytic plants, and animals are the xeric animals like a camel as well as the rats. So these are the 4 levels found in the ecological hierarchy: organism, population, biotic community and biome. What do you mean by environment? Environment, it is the surrounding, in simple, surroundings of organism, or the definition, sum total of biotic and abiotic components. Sum total of biotic and abiotic component. It includes both living as well as non-living. Biotic, living components, living organisms. Living organisms are found in different forms like predators. It might be predator living organism, it might be prey, it might be a parasite, it might be a host. Yes, in different forms. And abiotic components, it is non-living components. It includes the temperature, water, light as well as soil. So the next part of the chapter you are going to study about major abiotic factors. There are 4 major abiotic factors. Temperature, water, light, and soil. So now you are going to study about these 4 major abiotic factors, that is temperature, water, light and the soil. refers to degree of hotness or coldness of an object. You all know the definition. The temperature is not constant. It varies from one place to another place. Average temperature is not, it varies. It is not same. It varies from one region to another region. As well as we move from equator towards the polar regions, it starts decreasing. As well as from plains to the high altitudes, mountain ranges, hilly areas. So temperature starts decreasing as we move from equator towards a polar region, as well as from plains to the high altitudes. So temperature is not constant. As well as temperature ranges from sub-zero in polar regions greater than 50 degrees, greater than 50 degrees, tropical deserts, tropical region, when during the summer it can cross 50 degrees, and even we can find more than 100 degrees, where in special regions like thermal springs and deep sea hydrothermal vents, so temperature ranges 0 degrees or sub-zero degrees. It is found in polar regions. Greater than 50 degrees, it is found in tropical deserts, and greater than 100 degrees is found in regions like thermal springs and deep sea hydrothermal vents. In hydrothermal vents, thermal springs, we can find archaebacteria. They are found living here in such high temperature. Their body is adjusted to such high temperature. So how does this temperature influence the living organisms? Survival of organism. Not only temperature, other abiotic factor also has influence on the living organism. Effects of temperature. It affects distribution of living organism. It affects metabolism. Morphology. Reproduction. Effects of temperature on living organism. It affects distribution, metabolism, morphology and reproduction. Existence, distribution of living organisms, distribution of living organisms. For example, mango trees They are not found in the temperate regions, temperate countries like Canada or Germany, because mango tree, it is found growing in tropical region where temperature is higher. And you all know, when do the mango produce its fruits? Yes, during summer season. Similarly, snow leopards cannot be found in Kerala forest. Corals, they are found in the sea water where the temperature of sea water should be more than 21 degrees. So all living organisms require certain range of temperature to exist in a particular area. Metabolism, you all know the definition. The sum total of all biochemical reactions taking place within the living organism. These metabolic activities are controlled by enzymes. Metabolic reactions are controlled by enzymes. At optimum temperature, metabolic activity rate will be higher. Enzymes will be active. When the temperature is increasing, when the temperature is higher, then we can find the metabolic or decrease in the temperature, metabolic activity rate will be decreased, because either the enzymes will be denatured or it will be coagulated. If temperature is higher, enzymes will be denatured. When the temperature is lower, then we can find the enzymes will be coagulated. All metabolic activities, the rate will be higher at the optimum temperature. Morphology, yes, temperature also has effect on morphology. There is a rule called Allen's rule. What does it state? It's important for your competitive exams like NEET. It can be asked. Allen's rule. It defines extremities of mammals of polar region are shorter than the mammals of warmer region. Extremities of mammals of polar regions are shorter than the mammals of warmer region. What do we mean by extremities? It is ear pinna, snout, yes, tail and the legs of the mammals found in the polar region, that is temperate region. They are shorter. Why? To conserve the body, to conserve the heat within the body, than the mammals of the warmer region, that is tropical region. And most of the animals, their breeding season, it is when the temperature is high or in the summer season. Animals are classified into two groups based on tolerance range, based on tolerance range of temperature. Based on tolerance range of temperature, animals are classified, organisms are classified into two groups. Eurythermal, steam Eurythermal organisms and stenothermal organisms. This eurythermal was asked in the 2020 March final examination. 1 mark question. What are eurythermal organisms? Eurythermal. Eury meaning white. Thermal meaning temperature. Organisms which can tolerate. Organisms which can tolerate wide range of temperature. Organisms which can tolerate wide range of temperatures are called as eurythermal. So organisms which have a capacity to maintain constant temperature, they are eurythermal, or organisms are found in a region where there is, more seasons. They can adjust towards changes in the surrounding environment. So organisms which can tolerate wide range of temperature are called eurythermal organism. Stenothermal organisms. Steno meaning narrow, thermal means temperature. Organisms which can tolerate. Organisms which can tolerate narrow range of temperature are called stenothermal organism. They do not have a capacity to, as the temperature varies within their habitat, the surroundings, these organisms, stenothermal organisms, they do not have a capacity to tolerate the changes in the surrounding temperature. Means they are adjusted to one particular temperature range. So organisms which can tolerate narrow range of temperature. The next abiotic factor, it is water. You know that all living organisms, they require water. Our body is also made up of water. Yes. So water is also another important abiotic factor. It affects both plants as well as animals. And you know that on the earth's surface, around more than 71% of earth's surface is covered by water in the form of rivers, seas, oceans, glaciers. Yes, we can find. Water has effect on plants for productivity. Productivity varies. Yes, when the plants do not get the water, productivity for, yes, simple, you know, plants are autotrophs. They require water for food to prepare the food. Based on availability of water, how much they require the water, plants are classified into different types. Xerophytes, hydrophytes as well as mesophytes. Plants that are found in the xeric conditions, deserts, xeric habitats, where the plants they get less amount of water. Mesic, moist habitats, plants found in the moist habitats. And the plants, hydrophytes are the plants which are found in the water bodies. Even we can find water also has effects on animals. For aquatic animals, characteristic features of water plays an important role. Chemical composition, pH of water, yes, dissolved oxygen, carbon dioxide, the amount of light that penetrates within the water, all that plays a major role for the aquatic organisms, aquatic animals. The amount of salinity in aquatic environment varies. The amount of salinity in aquatic environment. It is 5% in inland waters, fresh water. It is 30 to 35% salinity, salt concentration. 30 to 35% it is found in sea waters, marine habitat, and more than 100% is found in hypersaline lagoons. So salinity also varies in aquatic habitats, aquatic environment. Fresh water, inland water, it has 5% of salt concentration, salinity. Sea water, it is 30 to 35%. In lagoons, it is more than 100%. Based on tolerance range towards salinity, organisms are classified into two groups. Euryhaline stenohaline. Euryhaline and stenohaline. Organisms, haline means salinity, salt concentration. Uri means wide, steno means narrow. Organisms which can tolerate wide range of salinity. Organisms which can tolerate wide range of salinity or salt concentration. Euryhaline organism includes like migratory fishes, salmon. They can move from fresh water to marine water, again back from marine to the fresh water. And now you have studied, yes, salt concentration in different aquatic environment. Yes, so the body have capacity to adjust to the changes in the salt concentration. Stenohaline, organisms which can tolerate narrow range of salinity are called stenohaline. They are adjusted either to the fresh water or to the marine water. So when there is changes in the salt concentration within their habitat, their body cannot adjust to those changes. Based on tolerance range of salinity, organisms are classified into euryhaline and stenohaline. Another abiotic factor, it is light. How does light influence plants as well as animals? It affects living organism. Light also has effects on plants as well as animals. First we'll study about the plants, effect of light on plants, then on the animals. You all know light, it is an ultimate source of energy. It is an important abiotic factor like temperature as well as water. It has also effect on plants. Plants are called producers, autotrophs. Why? Because they can photosynthesize in the presence of light. It might be high intensity or less light, but they can prepare their own food. They can synthesize their own food. So they are called as producers. They are called or also known as autotrophs. Light also induces photoperiodic responses in plants. Photoperiodic responses in plants like flowering. Based on that, we can classify plants into three groups: long-day plants, short-day plants, and day neutral plants. What is photoperiod? The duration of sunlight within a day is called as photoperiod. Also, light has effect on opening and closing of stomata. Stomata opens during daytime and closes during the night time. Stratification. Strata means layers, arrangement of plants in different layers of strata is called stratification. So temperature has effects on plants. It is required for photosynthetic activity, photoperiodic responses, Opening and closing of stomata is controlled by light. We can also find stratification towards light as well as phototropism, bending of plant towards the light is called as phototropism. Based on intensity of light required by the plants are classified into two groups. Based on intensity of light required by plants are classified into two groups. Sciophytes and heliophytes. Sciophytes are the small group of plants, small sized plants found under the tall trees in the forest. They are found below the canopied trees. These sciophytes are the group of plants which can photosynthesize in very low light intensity. They can photosynthesize in very low light intensity. Means these sciophytes, they are able to undergo photosynthesis with little amount of the sunlight. Heliophytes, the tall trees, they directly receive the sunlight. So heliophytes are the group of plants which require high light intensity for photosynthesis. So they are called as heliophytes. Effect of light on animals. Like plants, even light has effects on animals. We can find phototactic movements. Yes, some of the animals move towards the light, some move away from the light. Yes, as well as it has effects on animal movements. Like animals are called as nocturnal, animals are diurnal. Yes, it also influences on animal movements and also on the reproduction. So light influences both plants as well as the survival of the animals.